Pencils at the ready, everybody. For this week's Witchy Wednesday, we're going to draw crystal balls in coloured pencil. I'm going to start on this one, marking in where my dark is. And again, it's going to come to that 45-degree point. So it's coming to here. That piece is going to be where my dark is. So I'm going to put dark in there. And now on this side, I'm going to just lighten this bit. I'm not going to erase it completely, I'm just lightening it. That's where that light's going to be. So I'm going to put in my brightest reflection. A reflection is always a good idea, and making it something like a window really helps to make it look like there's something going on. So this is going to be our point of hardest reflected light. That is where the light is coming from somewhere, but it's not directly hitting our light source, it's reflecting from somewhere else. Our point of hardest direct light is going to be up here somewhere, as normal. So, again, the direct light will be a harsh light. Our point of reflected light from, if you imagine, the easiest way to do it is imagine this is a triangle, okay? And then follow those lines down. There's your points of reflected light. This part here. So if this is your points of reflected light, this line here is going to be a bright light as well. Now we know that, we can fill in the rest of the ball with a very basic tone. Following the rules of the light, we're still going to have points down here that are darker. This light is going to be soft, so you don't want to draw a harsh edge on this light. We may also have other points of refraction. For instance, this part here is going down that way into the ball. So it's going to be refracted from about here. So that bit might be a bit lighter. You'll also have other primary, secondary and tertiary light forces. Primary light source directly onto the ball. Reflected light source coming from somewhere else. So light hits the window, hits the ball. Refracted light hits the ball, travels through it and bounces back. That's a third one. And this one, we've got the reflection of a reflection of a refraction in the ball. So this is a light area. You may also have other areas of light, and you can pretty much put them in arbitrarily, as long as you've got a counterpoint to go with it. So if you've got an area of light here, then you will have an area of something catching the light over here. Maybe something like that. If you've got a refracted light here, up here, you may have a darker area. And then, once you understand where your light is, it is simply a case of smoothing out the edges. Don't forget, this is a direct light source. It's not going to have a soft edge. Because it's glass, you can put in, not totally arbitrary, but you know, think about it. How does a glass ball behave? Well, it has shadows that it picks up that aren't really shadows. It has light that it picks up that isn't really light. Maybe there's a bit of light coming off over here, off something else. The key thing is to distinguish between where your hard edges are going to be, your direct light and your direct reflections, and your soft edges on your tertiary light source and shadows. Could be a bit fancy and put a darker shadow next to a light if you want to. That will enhance the light. See? And then because it's a sharp object, the best thing to do is to go round and get rid of any overspill at all where you've coloured outside the lines. Get rid of it. On a fuzzy ball, it doesn't matter. It gives an impression of the ball being fuzzy. On a polished, hard object, you want that line to be as sharp as it possibly can be. Lighten that line up. Get the dark in there again. Make the refracted light feel a little bit softer, but also a little bit brighter. Anytime you put a dark and a light next to each other, you're going to get more contrast. Now it's starting to look like a ball. Now the easiest way to give a ball, especially a clear see-through ball, the impression that it is clear and see-through is to give it a shadow. I haven't left myself enough room for the shadow properly, but basically we're going to pick an area to put into shadow like that. And we're going to have a space in the middle. So directly under this part, about there, we're going to have a bright light. And then we're going to have It's a shadow, but it's a shadow of light, not a shadow of darkness. It's hard to describe. It's like, you know when you shine a light on something, like a torch, and you've got the direct beam, and then you've got the refracted light around the outside. One is a soft edge, one is a hard edge. That's what we've got here. So we're going to have a hard edge there, but then this is going to be a soft edge. So our shadow of our ball will look something like that. Depending how strong the light source is, we may have a hard edge shadow or a soft one. I think for a hard edge glass ball, it's probably best to do a hard edge shadow. But again, not drawing a line around it, just, you know, use your pencil to create an even edge and erase anything that doesn't fit. Same down here. We're going to have this area will be the soft light. This area will be hard solid light. And don't forget that you'll have, actually I probably should have drawn that up there. You don't need to see it on a sideways view. You will have a contact shadow . And what else are we missing? What you're missing is the reflection of the table here. If this ball is casting a shadow on the table, that shadow is going to reflect back up into the ball. And this is our darkest part of the shadow because it's a contact shadow. And then we've got the proximity shadow where the ball is close to the table. And then we've got not shadow, but less light. It's like this. We've got less light coming through. So here, we're going to have that dark reflection. So now, when we put in that very lightest light refraction, remember I said the top of it edge will be darkest dark, and this edge will be lightest light. That is why that makes more sense then, because it tells our eyes what we're looking at. The refraction of the light is what tells our eyes, we can see through this ball. And just that tiny little difference between the contact shadow and the refracted light of the ball tells us that that is a glass ball. This is the first part of a 3-part tutorial that we did over on Patreon. If you're interested in doing the other 2 parts, we also covered crystal balls in watercolour and acrylic. So come and join us over there on patreon.com/RhomanysRealm. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you again soon. Bye!